I have three victims' stories that have stuck to my mind because of the horror and the sadness that these women went through. The first one had 8 children. She was a Hutu, married to a Tutsi. And because of the culture in Rwanda, a child belongs to the father's race. So the children were Tutsi. Now, they killed the 7 children and the husband, and she remained with only one child. When this woman came to court, she was walking like a very old woman. You could see that she had a very heavy burden on her. And when she told her story, we understood why. She was not old, but the sorrow and the sadness had affected her. That was in my first case. In the second case, a woman had 10 children, between 8 and 10. So they killed, she remained with 2. One was a baby. She was carrying her on her back. Luckily for her, 2 children escaped to Burundi without her knowledge, with somebody. He just picked them and went with him to Burundi. So she used to hear rumors that these children had survived, but she would just cry, say, you don't know this, you just want to make me unhappy, and so on. Then one day these children come back to her. So she was very happy. But the baby on the back was killed. Somebody got the baby from her back and killed her in her presence. And that was really, really terrible. So I think those stories, I have somehow failed to forget them because they touched me. The third woman was again a Hutu, married to a Tutsi, and they had killed all her children. So she was big and had a big stomach. This is yet another case. So she's taken to the roadblock, and one of the people manning the roadblock says, "Your stomach is huge. Can we cut it up to see whether you are carrying an accomplice in there?" So one of the people, another person at the roadblock said, no, leave her. You've already killed her children. Let her go. So that's how she escaped. But she told us that the things they went through during that period, they were so horrendous that she didn't want to ever live in a situation like that. So the terror she went through, the narrow escape, and the fact that she lost her entire family, it was terrible. Then the last incident was another woman who had 9 children, and 6 were killed with her Tutsi husband. She was half Tutsi, half Hutu. So her father was Hutu, and she took all the children with her husband to her father's place. Later, it became very difficult for the father and the children to stay there. So the father left. He was killed somewhere with his sister. The children remained. So this father of the mother, he had some little money. So they would come to kill them. She would bribe them and they would go away. They come, bribe them, and they go away. Now then, a minister went in because there was a phase when it was said people had protected women and girls, and then the government changed the position and said now all those must go. So then the minister came around and said these must go. So these children were picked, 6 of them, and some were cut up even before they left in her presence and thrown. It is said that they were thrown into a river, alive and injured. So, and the woman cried a lot. She was not a very old woman at the time. She managed to save 2. One of them was taken by her brother for hiding. I don't remember how the other one survived. So she has only 2 children left. but she's also very old now and walks with a very painful gait. It's not that she's sick, but the burden, the sorrow there, it is very touching. And initially I thought I wouldn't survive the tribunal because horror after horror also takes its toll on you. And we didn't have a support system for the judges because you hear the sorrows and you go and deal with them yourself. But hopefully, with time, we hope we will also overcome it. I've stopped watching violent movies, all these violent stories in the books and so all that. I've seen enough of it. One thing I have learned, although it is very difficult to put in practice, is that when you go home and you forget about what you had or what you do. That is not very easy to achieve when you have deadlines or you have emotion and you have to decide it before you resume trial tomorrow. You will still have to work from home overnight. But if the schedule allows and there are no such exigencies, I think they should try to do their work and finish it in the office and go home and change to a completely different atmosphere. Because the problem we have is that you have a problem before you wrestle with it, you carry it with you to bed, you involve your spouse, and all the time you are thinking about these problems, and it can bring a lot of stress. Although I should also say that stress is part of judicial work, so we have to find ways of reducing that stress.